Hello, welcome to KEXP Live at Home. My name is Abby. So glad to have you here and so excited to introduce you to the one, the only, Kylie V.
Hi,
Kylie.
Hi, Abby.
So happy to have you here. How are you?
I'm so happy to be here. I'm doing great.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing fantastic.
How's everything up in Canada?
It's been really hot recently, ironically, since I'm in Canada, which is stereotypically very cold. I feel like I'm melting, but emotionally doing pretty darn good.
Yay. That's all we can hope for in these crazy times.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I just want to let everyone know Kylie V has this wonderful debut record called Big Blue, released back in February. And it has just been one that I've had on repeat ever since it came out. And you've been just, busy writing, recording since you were 14. Like, what made you decide to pick up music? What drew you?
I think ever since I was a little kid, I really wanted to get into music. Like, when you're like 2 years old and you're like, I'm going to be a rock star. And over time, that kind of became like, it seemed less and less attainable the more I grew up. Because that's a really big, ridiculous thing to want. And then when I was about 14, I got into the local Vancouver music scene and realized that actually I can just create whatever, and there's a group of people that'll be interested in it, and now I'm here.
I love that. I love, what about the community of Vancouver, brought you to that conclusion that you can just make whatever you want?
I got really into the band Peach Pit as kind of my introduction.
Oh, yeah.
They're lovely, lovely people.
Agreed.
So great. And through them, I found their old label Kingfisher Blues and Tim the Mute. And Tim was a huge help, putting together my first show. And his show at Record Store Day was the first DIY thing I'd been to, and I just kind of realized that these are all normal people just doing stuff in random buildings, and it's a lot more accessible than people make it out to be, I think.
Yeah, and I agree. That's what I love about Vancouver is ever since I've kind of been introduced to the place, wherever you go, despite the gentrification taking out buildings, people are like, I found a coffee shop and this is where my show is. And
yeah,
it's very
fantastic.
Great to see that community, and also just to have that communal support for, just young artists as well, to be
absolutely
make your stuff. And now you're 17 and you have a big record out. I'm like, it's huge. And
it's huge.
And
it's big for me.
It's so big. And, how do you feel about that? It's a big accomplishment.
It is huge. I feel great. It's very overwhelming. I obsessively check my Spotify stats, and I don't know. I've barely processed any of it. It's only been a few months, but it has been a lot bigger than I expected. So I'm feeling great.
I love it. And why don't we just jump into I think this was the first single you released from it.
It was, yeah.
Yes.
December 2020.
I love it. Yeah, it was a great way to end a 2020 year. I was just like, oh, I needed this song, and I think you need it too. This is On My Mind. It's Kylie V, live at home on KEXP. That was On My Mind. Kylie V live at home on KEXP. I love that song, and just your songwriting is so poetic and full of just beautiful symbolism. And I just wonder what draws you to write that way in your songwriting.
Oh, that is a very big question. I'm actually reflecting a lot on it more now that I'm going through a really difficult period of writer's block, and have been since like right after we finished making the album. Like, I used to write so much and now nothing's happening. So I have reflected on it and realized that a lot of the symbolism is just like me trying to hide things under like various layers so it sounds nice, but actually it's about like a totally different thing. Yeah, that's the main thing. I'm also super inspired by a lot of artists who tend to do that a lot. Like, Bright Eyes, Big Thief, Adrienne Lenker, and Connor Oberst are my two favorite songwriters and influenced the writing on Big Blue and my future stuff a lot. Yeah, I think it's just the art that I surround myself with tends to really show through. Like, the next project's going to be a completely different vibe just because of what I've been listening to.
Yeah, it's crazy how like your environment and just how you grow up and the things that nurture you can just influence your art. And I love that you said Bright Eyes and all those kids, because I'm just like, oh, I grew up with that too. It was just something that was really like soul opening for me. And just kind
absolutely.
Of, just in expressing, emotions. And I think, I guess like with how you said that you hide things in layers, I think you just kind of beautifully put them so that like anyone can kind of relate. They become universal.
Yeah,
in a way.
That's another. I try really hard to do that. I'm also trying really hard to just be brutally honest in my future writing, because that's something that I really want to do but struggle a lot with. But yeah, it's either that or nothing.
I don't think you struggle with it at all. Like, I find this record to be brutally honest, and that's what I appreciate about it. Especially in this next song, Solace, I find that when that single dropped, I was like, oh, I'm just welling into tears over here.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, like, because I thought it was just so honest, just like right away, it's just asking, for what you need. Like, the lyrics ask right away. And, let's just sink into it. It's Solace. Kylie V, live on KEXP at home.
If you knew that all I wanted was a little bit of solace, would you let me just be honest to your beautiful face? If I told you what I needed, would you leave or just avoid it? If I let you just be honest with me. with me.
You've got it tuned to KEXP Live at Home with Kylie V. And that was Solace, one of my favorite songs from the record Big Blue. It's so beautiful. And as I was saying before, just brutally honest. And I would love if you could dive into that song for me, just because I'm a little selfish.
Yeah, of course. It's one of the songs I wrote earliest for the album. Big Blue changed so much in the 2 years that I spent making it. It came out a year after I thought it was going to, and I basically scrapped 20 things making it, but that one stayed from the beginning. It started out as just kind of me rambling into my notes app about how much I love my friends and how much support I get when I'm struggling, and how I'm just really grateful for the support system that I've managed to create. And as the song developed more, as I got my bandmates in late 2019, and they helped with the bridge of that, which is just one repeated line 16 times, but writing credits. I think I've lost my train of thought, but it definitely went through a lot of development while still sticking to the same sentiment of just me being really grateful for the things that get me through how terrible life is.
Yeah, especially just with what everyone has been going through. I can't imagine everyone else's personal experiences through the past couple of years.
Yeah.
And just to have a support system, oh my God, it's so important.
It's
and
so important.
The gratefulness that you bring out in this song, and just there's something raw about, just being hey, I just need help. It's so hard to ask for. And
It's very hard to ask for.
Yeah, it's so hard. And, you bring that sentiment out beautifully in this, that it's great to have that support, and it's also okay to ask. And I love that it's one of your earliest songs. I feel it just really fits in nicely with just this beautiful thing that you've sketched out. And also, you said that you scrapped a lot of it like in the beginning. Like how was that process? Like,
I think making an album in your like formative teen years, you go through like 5 different phases. I just went through so many different like writing styles, trying to figure out where I was comfortable. Like my first release, Lotus Eater, I recorded on like an iPhone 6S in my family's basement when I was 14 out of like pure necessity. I cannot bring myself to listen to it anymore, but it's like a time capsule of that part of myself. And I went through a lot more of those, like trying to figure out where and how I'm comfortable creating in the process of making the album. And I eventually kind of landed on the style that kind of shows through most of Big Blue.
yeah.
And yeah.
And I love that it's a time capsule of just kind of, you know, I'm like, dare I say, being dramatic here, kind of the ending of your teen years in this transformation into adulthood. Sorry, that sounds
Don't make
so
me feel old.
Oh, no, you're not
I'm
old.
17. I just graduated high school.
I just ended my 20s, so I'm just like, I think I'm in it right now. But like, you know, it's just, you know, there's a lot of big life things happening, and it's kind of cool to have that time capsule of, you know, who you are becoming and how it's changed. Like, I guess because I look at the bio says you're wise beyond your years, but I don't think it's an age thing. I think you're just smart and you are intuitive and, you know, really capture the human experience, all its broken pieces and whatnot. Do you feel like your age is like a big part of that growth? Like, I hate to put anything on age, but
No, I think it is. I mean, and I hate to bring this up because now I sound like I'm showing off, but I skipped a grade in school, and I've always been
cool.
like second generation grade skipper over here. My mom was also a nerd.
Yeah,
Love you. But I feel like I've always kind of been the youngest part of most of the groups I'm in. Like in the music scene when I was entering, I was 14. I was like the baby of the scene, and now I'm still the baby of the scene because everybody's also growing old with me. Like my bandmates are 25. And it's weird to be like called wise beyond your years when I'm definitely nowhere near as functional as an adult would be. But I also think it is a huge compliment because I have basically made like a permanent thing out of that phase of growth in my life, and now it's like I feel like I've grown so much since Big Blue, and to have people actually kind of recognizing that is sick as hell, my dude.
Yes, it is sick as hell, my dude. Like it's
I had to make that less serious.
No, it's all good. Like I'm here to go serious to funny with you, but no, like screw age, it's phase of, we're all just going through growth. Like no matter what is depicted as functionable, like we're never all functioning, but
so true.
You know, but there's a lot of beauty in trying to figure out things as we go along, and I really appreciate the journey of that in Big Blue. And yeah, let's continue the journey. Let's dive into the title track, Big Blue, and A Story If You Want It. Yay. Live at home on KEXP, it's Kylie V.
You change like the tide. You fade like lost in the big blue. And I found you. Have you written my name? Has it rolled off your tongue? In the way that I hold yours, tucked in so tight at the roof of my mouth. Will you tell me a story? 'Cause you know I can't sleep. All this noise keeps piling up and then crashing right down to our feet. You know I could bring you right back to the start. I'd let you bury me in your arms, and I'll learn from watching your shadow surround me that surviving is a form of art. And that's all we've got. Take me to the place where the planes fly low. You can sit beneath the full moon and stare at the crows. There's nothing wrong with craving all the pain your sadness holds, but I am not an outlet. I'm just tired of going home. You know the world's a dying flower. We're water, we're light. Paint the face of misery with every shade of pale white. And goddamn if I don't give myself another chance, it'll be alright, it'll be alright, it'll be alright, it'll be alright, it'll be just fine. And I'll tell you the story if you want it. I know it's getting late, we've got to get up in the morning, but holy fuck if I don't wake up, we'll meet again in another life, 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 in another life that I wish was mine.
It's Kylie V live at home on KEXP. You just heard A Story If You Want It and Big Blue, the title track from their new record. The coolest debut ever. Too cool, dudes.
Thank you so much, Abby.
I got you. And I'm just really proud of it. I'm so excited to see where you go next with it and to see where you grow further. I don't want to put any pressure on you, but I do believe that you're going to make amazing work. And also so excited that you covered one of my favorite artists, and I hear it might be one of your favorites.
Yes.
Who is this?
Taylor Swift. I just smacked the mic. Taylor Swift.
We're just so excited.
I'm so excited.
Yes.
I was like a very small child when Fearless came out. I think it was the first CD I ever owned when I was like 6 and had a CD player in my room for some reason. I'm still obsessed with that record at least 11 years later. I don't remember when it came out. But this cover isn't even from that. It's from Red.
Yeah, I was like, it's going to be redone soon.
I am maybe too excited to hear that. I don't think I'm going to be able to handle it, actually.
I will be right there with you.
Yeah.
And with and why Taylor Swift? Why cover All Too Well?
I went through so many cover ideas for this. I annoyed my bandmates so much, like changed it up at least 3 times in the group chat. I went through Big Thief, Conor Oberst, and finally settled on Taylor Swift because I listened to All Too Well for the first time in like a good few months at least, and just went, okay, this is what I have to do. Like it is my duty to do this song now.
I love it.
So I think that was like our 4th time playing it through. I'm glad it went well.
Oh, it went supremely well. All too well, maybe. Oh, sorry.
Oh!
I'm a dad right now.
No, that was amazing. It just threw me completely.
So silly.
Love it so much.
It. Well, let's dive in. Here is Kylie V's magnificent cover of Taylor Swift's All Too Well.
Cold, but something about it felt like home somehow, and I left my scarf there at your sister's house, and you've still got it in your drawer even now. Sweet disposition, my wide-eyed gaze, we're singing in the car, getting lost upstate. Autumn leaves falling down like pieces into place, and I can picture it after all these days. And I know it's long gone, and that magic's not here no more. And I might be okay
And you just heard a super rad cover. Oh my gosh, I was just such a nerd when this got sent over, of Kylie V covering Taylor Swift's All Too Well from Red, a favorite of mine. Thank you so much for talking with us today. It was such...
Thank you so much. I'm over the moon about this whole thing, actually. Huge KEXP stan, huge Abby stan. I'm so excited. Thank you.
I'm going to tear up over here. Thank you seriously so much for being here and giving us these amazing songs. And I can't believe it's just, one full length right now. I can't wait for the next. And everyone out there, please go listen to Big Blue wherever you get your music. It is a beautiful record.
Thank you so much.
Of course. And thank you for being here. It's Kylie V live at home on KEXP.
Bye. Thank you.
Discover new music at listener-powered KEXP.org.